How's it going, everybody? We're here with the Overland Truck Store. We got Marc and Kyle, the owner-operators of the Overland Truck Store, today doing our podcast. They're going to tell us a bit about their business and some of their hobbies and just what they enjoy about overlanding and off-roading in general. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Kick it off. Enjoy some drinks and tell some good stories, and we'll get to know you guys a little bit here on the podcast. First things first, I want to go through like an introduction, and we'll start with Kyle. Just go ahead and introduce yourself. I'd love to learn about you and your job role at the Overland Truck Store.
Yeah, my name's Kyle. And
He likes long walks
I
and
like-
moonlit nights.
yeah, my name's Kyle, and I'm here to party. No, I run the shop at Overland Truck Store, which that side of things is the Overland Garage. So been doing that for years now, and it's been super duper fun. Sometimes it's a little stressful, and it's gotten very crazy in the last year or so. But shoot, it's not bad because I get to work on cool trucks every day, so
Yeah.
it's never that horrible.
The guys
It's not like working at Wendy's flipping burgers.
Yeah.
Did you work at
all.
Wendy's?
No, I've never have. Thank God.
Yeah, sounds bad.
I've threatened him. I have an application for one
Yeah.
in case he, doesn't do a good
It's all
job.
pre-filled
Yeah,
out.
it's-
Here
Ready.
you go, Kyle. Go to Wendy's.
Yeah.
Get your job.
Get to Wendy's.
Damn it.
So I have a little bit of insight on this. I know that you guys ran a shop and a lot before. It was more based off of like JDM, like Subaru builds.
Yeah.
And Kyle had a passion for off-road and overland, and he's obviously super well versed, very knowledgeable in the off-road and overland games, specifically Land Cruisers and Toyotas. And
I like to think I am,
yeah, and it was
but not
that
always.
was that sort of the catalyst that like put the business in that direction?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely Kyle's idea. Kyle.
Yeah, so that was, and before too, it was like JDM cars and tuner cars and everything. I've always been into cars and trucks in general my whole life. Even when I was a kid, like I was that kid, like drawing trucks on my notebook and everything and all that shit. So, but we were always into that stuff before, and but it was one of those deals like none of us, I think, actually really. I owned a Mitsubishi Lancer Evo, which I love that car, wish I still had it. But I always had a Toyota or a Jeep,
Well, your
and
first
all
truck
of us
was a
always
Toyota.
did. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was like, okay, we were doing these cars and everything, and they're fun as all hell and everything. I love fast cars. It's nothing better. But it was kind of like we realized, well, what do we drive every day, and what do we go out and do on the weekends and everything.
Right.
So like, and I don't know, we just hit a point where we're like, screw it, let's go towards that. It'll be way more fun.
Yeah.
We know them so well. It's kind of our passion on the weekends,
Yeah.
on our off time and everything.
Well, we
Why
kind of
don't
got
make the business,
kinda
when we're
got
at
that
work,
niche.
let's just do that anyways.
We got into that niche on South Tacoma Way. We were in the old Porsche Audi store. We were the guys for if you were buying an STI, an Evo, SRT4, any kind of tuner car. We were where you went to get, some sort of a high performance car. And so we were sponsoring track days and having meetups with all those guys. But we go to the track days, and it just really wasn't, we liked it, but it wasn't our passion that we did on the weekends. We're going out wheeling. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Different crowd.
Yeah.
too.
So you guys shifted your entire business to align more with your passion rather than
Right.
what was currently, paying the bills and was
Yeah.
profitable.
correct.
That's actually huge. That's actually really admirable. And what's great about that is that the result of your work is going to be better. It's going to shine through because it's something
Yeah.
you're passionate about.
Yeah, it's something we love.
And that's something we've seen. I've worked with you guys for a bit now, and and people even in the comment section will say, like, Kyle really knows his
He
shit.
does.
He really knows his shit.
Yeah.
And it's clear that he's passionate about the off-road and overland community. and specifically knows a ton about Land Cruisers.
Well, the thing is like he was talking about Overland in Australia, everything they're doing in Australia, before Overland even hit
In
here.
high school.
I mean, he was just all about it because he had an FJ40 in high school. You know, his. I mean, really, that's probably where your passion started. Was from the FJ40 when I sold it when you were a little kid.
Oh yeah, everything.
He cried.
Everything all.
He cried.
He cried.
Yeah, like a little bitch. He cried.
I was a single dad.
How old were you?
Oh, probably 6 or 7.
Okay, that's normal. Sorry.
Yeah, I was
16.
So I'd had that FJ40 since before he was born. Had small block 327.
I pictured you like a 17-year-old Kyle just crying.
I did.
That's happened.
I would have. It doesn't even matter.
Pretty sure he cried last night.
I cried last night.
Yeah.
I did. I had to hold back the tears. I was like,
Yeah, my buddy had posted a
Yeah.
Chevy pickup that he had. Really, actually, if you think about that truck, that was a badass truck. Because it was like a 1972 4x4,
oh,
C10. It was sick.
sign me up.
And so he posted that truck and my FJ40. We were living together at the time. We were both single dads. And so my FJ40 was in the background. And he's like, dude, all I get is calls on your FJ40. Is that for sale? They don't care about my truck. They care about your FJ. Are you thinking about selling it? And I needed money at the time. And some guy offered, and I know this is terrible when you know what
God.
FJ40s go for today, but I sold that thing for $2,500. And it was straight,
It was
no
like
rust.
rust free.
Had a small block 327 out of a Corvette in it. I mean, it was sick.
$2,500.
$2,500.
Oh,
And
man.
so he had a right to cry.
Yeah. I would have cried.
Yeah, I was like, Dad, you're selling yourself
Oh
short.
yeah, well, the guy put it on his trailer, and Kyle
Oh, man.
cried. And I mean, because that was, that's what we did on the weekends. We'd go out in the FJ40 or whatever off-road rig I had. And
Oh, yeah.
the kids loved it. Not just him, but my daughter Cameron as well.
Yeah.
And so he said, Dad, when I get old enough, I'm getting an FJ40 just like that. So, what was high school? Was it? Yeah, probably high school. You saved up some dough, and we went and found a barn find FJ40.
Well, I had, the first truck was technically first truck
That red.
ever is my C10, my short
yeah, that's
box
true.
that I still have.
Yep.
That all my friends.
You still have your first truck ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's the joke out of all my friends. They're like, anytime I bring it up, they're like, "Oh, what, Kyle? This is the year you're gonna finally get it on the road."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like when hell freezes over. Okay. But it was that truck, but then it wasn't really practical or whatever for going to school, I think, at the time. So you found like I remember the first one was that little regular cab Toyota.
Yeah, that red
pickup. Yeah.
I think it was like a 91 or
Yeah, it was
22 RE.
22 RE,
Yeah.
manual, regular cab, short bed.
Yeah.
Sweet
Sick.
little truck.
But it had
And then it had like the third gear
Right.
grind in it. And at that time, we didn't really have all the resources and everything that we did now. So instantly we were like, oh, it's got a bad transmission. It's going to be a pain in the ass. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah.
And it's so, like, now looking back at it, like, good God, you can find the freaking, like, it's probably
Yeah.
W56.
Yep.
And
W56.
they're all over the place,
Yeah.
for like $300.
Yeah.
Right.
Would have been so easy. But got rid of that. Got a 3-liter 92, I believe, pickup. Drove that for like my first year.
What happened when you
then-
first got that one though?
Oh,
At the
buddy.
grocery outlet.
Oh, buddy. My first, it was just, oh God. The only accident I've ever been in was in that truck. And
Yeah.
I pulled in to this little, it was like a little skinny parking lot, and I hung a right. It was really dark, and there was this old step-side Ford sitting there, and I couldn't see the back, and it was because I hadn't been used to driving a truck yet, so the whole swinging a truck in, like, not like it was a long bed truck, it was a Toyota Tacoma.
Yeah.
But I caught the ass into this Ford,
Yeah.
and it peeled the bed open of the Tacoma like a pop can.
Damn.
But I was like, what the fuck?
Right.
And I got out, and nothing happened to the old Ford at all. and just scooched it over a parking spot.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what the fuck to do. And then one of the guys, some dude saw it happen. And I'm like sitting there like, fuck. And he's like, dude, you got the bad end of the stick there if I were you. He's like, I work here, and that truck's been there for 4 weeks. I'm pretty sure it's abandoned. So you should probably just keep on down the road.
So are you telling me that your first wreck was a hit and run?
Hit and ran.
Let's hope that the guy with the Ford doesn't see this podcast.
Shout out to the Ford owner.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Just admits it here on the podcast.
So yeah, hit and run.
Hit and run.
That's awesome. My first wreck was in a '98 Toyota Tacoma, and it didn't total it. It blew out the upper and lower control arms. Yeah, this minivan sideswiped me. I was like pulling out on the road. I pulled out in front of her, and I had. This is a crazy story that we could like go deep into. It's a very long story, but like long story short, I got in a fight in high school, and then immediately after, I had gone to basic training, joined the military, went to basic training, was living in Fort Lewis. Sorry, not Fort Lewis. I was living in Missouri, Fort Leonard Wood thing. And so I didn't get the request to go to court for this like fight that I was in.
Oh,
and so I
shit.
had a warrant out for my arrest. Oh. Okay. So I sideswiped this van, and the cop that shows up, he realizes that I have this warrant. I had no idea. And they arrest me on the spot. I go to jail that night. I had a crazy experience in jail where this dude literally vomited up a pouch of meth, and then everyone in the jail cell except for me starts doing meth. And they're like trying to force it on me. And I'm like, dude, I tried to play it off like, I'm all good on my meth today. Like I've had so much, like I'm so good. But first wreck was in a '98 Toyota Tacoma.
Nice.
And it was such a bizarre
That
experience.
could have been a whole transition in your life. Like you could have been, instead of Max Powell, you could have been Meth Max.
Meth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know. They almost peer pressured me, It's
Yeah.
like they were like saying they were going to beat the shit out of me if I didn't take it. It was like, I'm all good,
Right.
Anymore, I'll probably overdose,
Yeah. I've done so much.
So much. But no, I got out and the whole thing, blew over, and it was obviously like I was with the military, so I couldn't have possibly made it to the court date, and so it wasn't a big deal, but bizarre, to say the least. Yeah, and a wild day.
Oh shit.
A wild day.
Yeah.
But so what are you currently driving, Kyle?
Right now, 18 Tacoma Access Cab Off-Road manual,
Yeah.
which I'm digging quite a bit.
That manual must be nice.
Yeah, it needs. It was really nice before I put everything on it. It needs to get re-geared.
You need to kind of
Yeah,
re-gear it. Yeah.
It is. It compared to the last couple ones, like it's nice because you can actually control it. Like the new Tacomas are so that weird dogging out stuff that the automatics do and stuff. It's kind of nice to be able to like grab a gear and
Yeah, be in control.
yeah. Plus it's well, the last few ones I had were automatics just because convenience kind of thing, and I've always had manuals, standard transmissions, and
Yes.
yeah, standards.
Yeah.
And but it is kind of a pain in the ass because it's totally. You don't realize like no one drives manuals anymore.
They don't.
So you go out to parties with buddies or out to the bar. You're DD boy the whole time,
Really?
especially if you
Oh.
drive. Yeah. Well, I can't drive manual. Like,
Oh.
well,
Man,
shit.
you need better
Okay.
friends.
I know. What the fuck? I got two friends. I know that I trust to drive my truck.
Yeah.
We have so
I guess I
many-
got buddies that probably drive manual, but I don't trust.
There's a lot of customers that come in and they'll buy a rig and they can't drive a manual. We have to teach them.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of either they'll admit it right up front, 100%. Like they don't care. Their ego's not in the way. You're like, I can't drive a manual, dude.
Yeah.
Or the worst ones are the guys that can't drive manual, and they're like, yeah, I can drive.
They have too much pride.
I can drive a fucking manual.
Totally. I got this.
And obviously, within T minus 3 seconds if
Yeah.
they can.
I've been in a rig with a guy where he was like, he was a military kid. He's like, I've got a 67 Chevelle at home, 4-speed Muncie. I can drive a manual. And we're in a 370Z. This is years ago. This is like 20, or not 20, but it was years ago.
Yeah.
And he's wrapping it up. Bop, 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 bop. And I'm like, oh no, this isn't good.
Yeah.
I'm like, you sure you can drive manual? Oh yeah, bop, 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 bop. And I feel like, oh, we're going to go into a telephone pole. So I just reached over and shut the car off. I'm like,
God.
bro, I am not going to let you take my life in your hands.
Yeah.
So
Oh, totally.
you can't drive manual, can you? He's like, well, no, but I was embarrassed by it. So
Wow. Really?
Yeah, that's
I'm like, you
interesting.
just got to tell me. I'll teach you. But,
know.
you know, that's scary.
It is funny, and every car is a little different, you know. So like I had this Subaru STI, and the guy that bought it for me, he stalled it like, no joke, like 9 times, just trying to leave with it, and he was super embarrassed. And the more embarrassed he got, the worse it was. Like he just stalled it harder and harder, and but yeah, it's a tough car to shift. You know,
That is.
Yeah.
It is like it's got a real like
way
hair.
different.
Like, it's just
I worked at Mitsubishi in 04, 05, 06 probably. So when the Evo was super hot, you know, that was the good Evo. And we had so many kids that would come in and couldn't drive a manual. They'd buy a brand new Evolution, spend 45 grand on the car, and then toast the clutch in a day.
Yeah. And then act like it was your fault, right?
Act like it was our fault. We'd have to take them back in the shop and be like, hey, see that clutch right there? It's not supposed to look like, you know, your mom's crochet set. Yeah. So just smoked. But yeah, so it's that generation. Can't drive manuals. But his sister can drive a manual, so that's good.
Dude.
She can.
Yeah.
She's kind of badass though.
She is.
And she's a little brash. I think she's more dude than me.
She's a little bit too much badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's kind of
She's a little over the top.
She'll fight someone on a turn of a dime. It scares me sometimes.
That's why we love her, though.
awesome.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, fucking car
So-
currently.
So you're currently driving that. I think you said 18 Tacoma.
Yeah.
And you're building it out for Overland. Do
Yeah.
you have a dream Overland rig? Because my dream Overland rig is kind of like Mark's Overland rig, but
Yeah, an 80.
the 80. Yeah.
Yeah, it would definitely be a Land Cruiser. Probably a
had?
Troopy.
Okay, a Troopy.
Yeah.
What did you have again? A 90.
What I just had. Yeah,
You just sold
a
the
100
Troopy.
series.
100 series.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's-
Which, shoot, that's a future dream one in the next few years if we can get 105s in here. Because they came factory with the 80 series, basically 80 series running gear with that 100 series body on them.
yeah.
Like everywhere else in the goddamn world. And, but with that V8 that's in it, with that 4.7 liter, which is just the motor to have.
That's like your dream rig right now.
That, I mean, I wouldn't say dream rig right now. Dream rig, if we're talking overland kind of vehicles, shoot, it'd probably be like a FJ 45 troop carrier. Mm-hmm. So 2-door,
Those are
the long body ones. They're, dude, that's the bee's knees right there.
Yeah. Yeah. those are
Sign
sweet.
me up.
Yeah. Yeah. those
Or
are
the 70 series Troopies are super cool too. God, I don't know. That's hard to say.
There's so many to pick from. Yeah.
Just Land Cruisers like tickle my fancy a little extra, dude.
They tickle me.
Yeah. I mean, like even Land Rovers. They're kind of cool.
I'm telling you. Being in the auto industry, as long as I have Land Rovers, until we got that 110.
Yeah.
Just because the newer Land Rovers are just, they're not.
I mean,
They
yeah,
have
it's
electrical
probably a US
problems,
market
all kinds of issues.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. You don't, in this business, you try to stay away from Land Rovers, Jaguars, Maseratis, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are terrible. But the older Defenders, man, I'll tell you what,
Yeah, they're pretty kick-ass.
They're pretty badass.
Yeah.
So,
That one that you guys got was pretty cool.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you had, what's the story on that one? I haven't seen you in a bit.
So we're right now.
Gathering parts, man.
Yep. We've got the lift, wheels, and tires. It was hard to find wheels and tires. It was hard to find wheels for that rig, but
Yeah.
Kyle tracked them down.
Really. Well,
It's a
like,
weird bolt pattern.
yeah, you can get, it's like the lugs on that thing's like a 1-ton truck, kind of like big old thick lug on it.
Yeah.
On
But
a
it's
5 lug.
5 lug.
Oh, weird.
So it's kind of weird. And yeah, like no one makes wheels for him over here. Method Race Wheels makes wheels for it.
Yeah.
So I think we got like 703s or something. Just simple,
Yeah.
like 6, 7 spoke wheels, black. Because everything else is kind of that British, UK
British.
style. The fucking British.
British.
And they-
Are those installed yet? Those new wheels?
No. So we went to start it 2 weeks ago, and then noticed we were missing a couple other parts.
Yeah.
And I was like, screw it, we'll pull it back off and wait to do everything on it all at once. Because it's going to be pretty freaking cool.
Yeah,
Once-
that'll
once
be
it gets-
cool. I
comes
wanna
all
film
together.
it. I want to film it when you
Yeah.
guys get it going.
You know damn well we are like the Project Kings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We've got the Duramax party bus that we're going to lift, wheel and tire, and make a Overland show rig.
Okay, tell me
It's
more.
the tow pig.
Tell me more.
Yeah. Well, we bought it down in Cali. Mm-hmm. It was just kind of we were down there buying rigs, and it was a Duramax.
Well,
what was
they
it,
were
like
running. They were running
it was a airport rig.
Hawaii. They were running Hawaii rental Jeeps and
Yeah.
the buses that pick you up, like from the little buses that run you over to the
The shuttle buses
shuttle
for
buses.
rental cars.
Yeah. So they had
So
like a
it's
whole
like
fleet of
Alamo or
them.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're like,
For
this thing,
super cheap.
it's a freaking Kodiak, basically.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know?
Yeah.
So-
I've been wanting to do something like that for like a studio on wheels type rig, you know?
Oh, it'd be
So that we
perfect
can
for that.
show up, have all of our camera gear, be
Right.
able to tow stuff. Yeah, that's like
Right.
that's the ticket right there. That'd
Yeah.
be cool.
So we haven't even started on that, really.
No.
I mean,
Okay. I didn't know you guys were doing that.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, dude, over the years too, we've been. Hey Taylor, can you pull that up?
Hey Taylor, pull that up.
What a Alamo bus looks like.
Show us an Alamo bus. So Mark, tell me about your role. You're the owner,
Yeah.
owner operator. You got a lot going on because you have a lot. You have a shop.
Yeah.
And
an online store.
and an online store, and you're running around going to auctions trying to find these
Yeah.
these platforms, these overland platforms to build out.
It'd be a lot easier if I could just buy what everybody else buys
Yeah.
locally. The problem is in Washington State, the local vehicles come out of Canada mostly, so you get a lot of Alberta, Saskatchewan rigs, which to each his own. If you don't mind rust and corrosion, go ahead. And I've seen an influx of rigs from the East Coast, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey. I just don't want to mess with that stuff, especially when you're building something out. My techs would want to wring my neck if I bought that stuff because they got to break out the torches and, chisels and whatever to do a brake, do a brake job.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I'm traveling all over trying to get
Yeah.
nice, clean rigs, mostly from the Southwest.
I know that you go through a great deal of trouble trying to find good rigs. You're not
Yeah.
just bringing home crap.
No.
Oh, fucking Harley Dave.
Sorry, that happens here. Harley Dave.
As a matter of fact, today we actually had a guy come in, was comparing us to a GX 470. And I would say in Washington State, if you're going to buy a GX 470, California, you're going to find some cool Overland GX 470s down there that are clean, nice, done right, timing belt water pump done, a good lift, the airbag delete.
Yeah.
A lot of them have, man, I can't tell you how many we've had to do a power steering rack on,
Yeah, it's just all the normal maintenance stuff on
or steering rack, whatever.
those. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much.
There's definitely dudes down in California that do them right.
Yes.
100%.
There's a lot of shops down there that do them.
Yeah. There's more population.
Yeah.
It's just
Really?
up here, not really.
So, a lot of times, like,
They're
so this
Land
guy's
Cruisers.
comparing us to another rig, and he's like, well, this one's, I don't know, $4,000 cheaper or something like that. Okay. Well, let's look it up, But The rig's got old clapped out suspension on it. It's got bald tires. Both bumpers are split and done.
Yeah.
So right there, you're talking $5,000 in bumpers. You know what I mean? Try and find GX bumpers if you're not buying aftermarket. Super tough to do.
Yeah.
And then you still need to do your timing belt water pump, because that 4.7 is the motor, but if the timing belt water pump's not done, then it's not the motor, right?
Yeah.
And then suspension, whatever. So he ended up buying ours because he's like, yeah, you know, it's already done. It's ready to go. You know, it's the difference between, it's like I explained to him the first time I bought a Stihl chainsaw. We were talking about chainsaws earlier.
Yeah.
But, you know, you
Shout out to Ron, our
Shout out
chainsaw
Ron.
guy.
Ron. Hey, thanks, Ron.
Big time chainsaw guy.
Yeah. You know, it's just about buying something that's already done. It's price versus cost. You know, you might be able to find something a couple grand cheaper.
Yeah.
But what you know, what's your cost going to be in the future? And especially if you're buying a rusted out rig, you don't know if the brake lines are rusted. There's so many different things that can happen when you're driving a rig on a salty road through the whole winter. You're not washing that. You're not cleaning out your fender wells. You're not cleaning out the frame rails.
Yeah.
It's just corroding it. I've seen rigs that are 2-3 years old that the fender wells are rusted out because they're on the oil roads. You know what I mean? So I travel around just to. It was the same thing that we did before with the tuner cars. I would travel around to find the right cars that, you know, didn't have low end motor knock from the Subarus having composite pistons or whatever. And it's the same thing with these off-road rigs. I travel around to try and find the cleanest rigs to start from, because sometimes we don't outfit them. Sometimes people want to outfit it the way they want. So we'll have a stock rig that they can outfit. You know, maybe they want a front runner rack and they want you know, King suspension. They don't want Icon or Iron Man or Old Man Emu or whatever. So
Yeah.
you know,
I've seen time and time again, just from my observation of working with you guys for the past few years, that you will put yourself at a disadvantage as a business to make sure that the customer has a better vehicle in the long run.
correct.
Even though you could totally get away with it, and you see these car dealerships getting away with it all the time.
Yes.
And they, you know, they're selling rigs that are rusted out, and I've never once seen you guys cut corners. And it's
I'd rather
extremely
lose
admirable.
money. I'd rather lose money because, especially in this day and age, I'd rather. I mean, I've lost $10,000 on a rig. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'd rather do that because our reputation is where it's at for longevity. You know, we're not doing this just to get rich quick and move on.
Yeah.
That's why we do work so hard, because we're trying to build a great brand. You know, we're trying to build a business that's sustainable and that we're proud of, that I can, you know, lay my head on the pillow at night and feel good about what I did.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Unfortunately, that's the hard way. In today's world,
is hard.
That's the hard way. You know, trying to convince people that you're doing it the right way is the hard way. And you guys are at a disadvantage, being that you are a pre-owned vehicle dealership.
Yeah. You already have that.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
You already have that, what do you want to call it?
Stigmatism.
Stigma that, you know, you guys sell
stigmatism.
pre-owned vehicles.
You got a stigma.
I got a stigmatism. What are you saying to me?
Shit. That's not right.
Look at me straight, boy.
Oh, man. That's
Want to buy this car?
Right.
shit.
But you're right. I mean, it totally, you already have that. And, you know, we do the best to convey that to our guys that are on the front lines that are going over rigs with
So,
what did you say to me?
We all wear glasses.
I'm bad.
And not all, and our guys don't always know the depth that we go into to, like the kid today. He didn't I had to go out and explain to him, like, this is what we did. We did this, this, and this, and this. And then we looked up the rig that he was looking at, that he already went up and test drove, and still came to us, even though ours was $4 or $5 more. But he knew, he looked at our reputation, he looked up our reviews, and he said, wow, these guys obviously know what they're doing. They have an off-road shop.
Yeah.
You know, the place that he was looking at, they just bought the car at some auction. It was from New York. It was from New Jersey. It was rusted out. It was clapped out. It was a pile, you know. And so once I went over price versus cost, hey, yeah, you might get this thing for $4,000 less, but it's going to end up costing you $8,000 more than what ours is if you want to get it to where our vehicle's at. you know, and he was like, oh, that totally makes sense. So
Yeah, I
that's hard to explain to customers sometimes. They don't understand that.
I can totally see people taking the shortcut route and just taking a crappier vehicle, pricing it lower, being like the low price competitor,
Yeah.
and moving vehicles. But at the end of the day, you're screwing over a lot of people. And I
Yeah.
know you guys personally,
Yeah.
and I know that wouldn't sit right with you.
No.
Yeah, I know that happens a lot, which is where that stigmatism comes from.
Yeah, the
What is the right word?
stigma. Yeah.
Why?
But here,
I get it. I know. It's like your
That's-
eyeballs.
we
are
all
like
got
focused-
stigma.
thanks,
Stigmatism.
Jamie. I mean, Taylor.
Yeah. You would.
Oh,
That bitch blind as a bat.
Do you really?
Stigma.
Really?
don't you look at me cross-eyed, boy.
But you wait. So you
Is your
that's
mic
in your,
on?
was that?
you have astigmatism. You wear contacts?
Oh, deep ones. They're like thick. You know,
Did they have to like trim your eyelids back or
it's like cardboard.
no?
Cardboard.
I had a guy that I worked with back in the day that had astigmatism. It's astigmatism, right?
Us.
Yeah, and his glasses look like that ring that you have right there with the light on it. They were super,
Like the bottom of this Coke bottle.
but yeah, man, technology, baby.
I'm sorry, I
awesome.
did screw that up. It is a stigma.
Stigma.
Shit, though.
The
We're
stigma,
getting
though.
Yeah.
Are we back to it? The stigma is valid, though. Like the people that are in this business, there are some that just do not care, and I've had those conversations with them. Like, you do realize that the rig that you just bought needs a motor, the rear end's bad, needs tires. It's, whatever, and they're like, I don't care. It's fine. I'm going to make money on it. I'm just going to slap it on the lot and let's go. So, we try to separate ourselves from that.
Yeah. And that's a hard message to get across because a lot of people do shop per their budget. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
So they'll say like 15 grand is the top of my budget and I want to find this specific model within that budget and I don't want to go over. And they'll take any piece of crap so long as it's within that budget. And one of the hardest messages to get across is that $3 grand more than maybe what you wanted to spend was actually the right vehicle that you're not going to end up in a big old, can of worms with. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I try to I think a good way to put it is so us being dealers and us having the off-road shop on the other side of things, we have more avenues to parts and everything and discounts to
That's
parts.
true.
So maybe the vehicle's $4 or $5 grand more than the other vehicle, but we did all the services and we kind of pass along those discounts that we get as a dealer to the customer. Where if you were to go buy that other car, all those same services on that vehicle would be $10,000, where it costs us, 5 or 6 or something, right? So then we just pass that along in the cost of the vehicle.
And if that dealer that had that car, that let's say they did want to do the right thing, but they don't have an off-road shop,
Yeah, there's things they can't even
they
get.
have to spend that extra 10 grand to get that vehicle to where we're getting it.
Yeah, shoot, I sell aftermarket parts to Toyota every day
To Toyota, the dealership?
Yep.
Like Toyota, wow.
because they can't get stuff.
Yeah. They
But
can't
it's
source it at the same rate.
You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of thing, because they help us. Because a lot of the stuff we do is Toyota OEM parts, so
Well, the other thing
goes
too is
both-
our techs
both
are
ways.
not just basic techs. You've met Bud and Steve, and I don't know if you met Casey yet, our new guy.
I don't think so.
New guy, no. I know Steve used to work on like high-end stuff.
Yep, he
Yeah,
was a
Ferrari,
Land Rover,
he's a
Ferrari,
Porsche guy.
Porsche,
Push.
Lambo.
Yep.
The guy's he's a master tech.
Yeah.
They both are, and I would say Casey's right up there with them as a master tech. They're not just entry level techs like you go to some of the big box stores. You're gonna get just an entry level tech that maybe can do an oil change and a brake job, and he's doing your lift. You know, these guys understand the mechanics of putting the right lift on this rig and all the different, I don't know how to say it as eloquent as you, but
I don't even know what eloquent is.
right. But, well, they
Well,
just understand.
yeah, it's just, I had a guy literally today that came in with his Duramax, actually a really cool build that he did. He took like a 03 Duramax that he got from his dad when his dad passed away.
Yeah.
Super clean, old guy truck, turned it into a full Overland rig. And those things don't have like a lot of cool stuff like Toyotas have to make it in. Everything's all fucking diesel bro shit on it. So
Yeah.
he made it really cool, but took it into like another shop, and they told him, freaked him out, told him his ball joints are bad, it's gonna fall apart and all this stuff, right? But he's been into us multiple times before. He didn't really think they were, and brought it into us. They literally told him his ball joints are bad because he's probably one of our few customers that actually greases his stuff constantly, which is awesome. But they saw grease come out of ball joints and all that stuff, told him he has bad ball joints, freaked him out,
Oh yeah.
you know, and he's about to go on a big trip for the next couple weeks or whatever. So brought it into us. Our guys actually know what they're looking at as far as that kind of stuff. You know, diagnosed it in a few minutes. It was something. And then like that kind of stuff too.
So wait a
repeat
second.
Customers.
You didn't upsell them and try and sell them ball joints you didn't need? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
That's
So,
awesome.
I was
Yeah,
literally
no.
about to put out there that I've never once seen you guys over upsell anything.
Yeah, I know.
So like if there's a customer that comes in that just does like Forest Service roads, just like
Yeah.
regular stuff, you don't try to sell them on a long travel kit. You sell them on exactly what they need to do their, you know, what their interest is. And that's something I admire about you guys. You never like go over the top. You always make sure that the customer is getting exactly what they need and want, but not more than, which
Yeah.
a lot of dealers will really push and push and push and push.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that about you guys, and that's actually
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Yeah,
and
because
that's-
it's not just the
Very low pressure.
the vehicle sales side of it that people get taken advantage of. It's the shops too, and it's not just dealer shops. It's all kinds of shops where the whole goal of a service writer is to upsell you on stuff that you might not need. I mean, we've literally done a full brake job on a rig. You know, rotors, calipers, pads, everything, and we've had a customer take that rig and they go get tires done or some sort of a service at a big box store, and they tell them, oh, you need brakes all the way around, right? And they're like, hey, you know, I bought this thing 6 months ago and it needed brakes on it. Oh, really? Where did you get
Yeah,
that?
not
You
even
know?
that. It's been like, that's happened multiple times. And obviously, like, customers are going to trust bigger names and everything that are like nationwide names because the brand they've
They
built and
wouldn't lie to
everything,
'em,
right? So,
yeah.
Sure.
you know, and that's happened quite a bit, but it sucks because, you know, you have to.
Because you guys know better. You
Yeah,
know,
it's like
Right, like,
geez Louise, man.
did you let them throw the parts away before you agreed to
yeah.
pay for new brakes?
Yeah.
And then you show them the receipts that here's what was done to your vehicle.
Yeah, I think we've all seen that, like a $160
everyone's done that.
air filter that could have just been like,
Yeah.
you know, quickly tapped out, and
Yep.
instead they want to charge you, and that's totally a thing that a lot of
Yep.
dealers and mechanics will do to you guys, to customers. But
And that's one of the things that we've always talked about, that we don't, you know, like you said, this is the way of grinding it out. It's a lot of work, but it's the right work.
well, you guys you're obviously here for the community, not for the paycheck. You want to make sure that people can have a reliable vehicle, they can go explore, do the things that you're passionate about, that you love, and it's not necessarily about making a paycheck at the end of the day. It's making sure that the customer, can get to where they're going and have a good time, and that's very admirable.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's building the community. I mean, we want people to come back and keep doing business with us, and their family members do business with us, and their friends do business with us, and that's what we have happening.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
it's
So-
fun. Kind of want
Thanks.
to be your one-stop shop for everything overland off-road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our goal is to, right now, we're in 3 locations. So we have our showroom and our vehicle sales lot, and then we have the off-road overland shop that does all the installations, and it has a showroom there as well. And we just acquired the building next to that, so that we can have a bigger showroom inside. So we're gonna have vehicles that are outfitted with rooftop tents and awnings and bumpers and lifts and solar panels and all that stuff. So you can actually come check out maybe what
Yeah.
you want on your build. And then the ultimate goal is to take all that and put it in one location. So that'll, hopefully in the next couple of years, we'll be there. And then, so just being in this business, we've always felt that it was better to have our own garage or shop. We were, back in the day, I've been doing this for many years. I think I got into the auto industry probably back in 2000, maybe 01. And when I got into, I was a wholesaler for a while, used car buyer. But when I got into having my own location, we were sending everything out to other shops, and we didn't have that control over what we were doing, the quality of the work. So that's when we started, hiring our own mechanics and having our own shop. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but basically having our own shop, we were always doing regular maintenance, just making sure that the vehicles were dialed in and ready for sale. And then with Kyle's decision to go into overland and off-road, it was a natural progression to doing our own builds. And so that's where that garage, and I'm just rambling like a
No, but essentially by having your own in-house shop that's, familiar and educated on off-road and overland vehicles, the end result, the product for the customer is overall more reliable and it functions better because you guys do it in-house. You're not just taking
Somebody's word for it.
Yeah, you're not just taking a vehicle from an auction, washing it and reselling it, which is
Right.
what most of the pre-owned vehicle sellers do.
Right.
You're taking it and putting it through your own in-house shop. You guys are making the necessary modifications or alterations to make sure that it's reliable and functioning properly. And then you're selling it. And oftentimes even at a loss because you want to make sure that that product's reliable and ready to go for the customer.
Yeah, we might be a little bit over the top. I mean, there's Washington state standards of when you need to have, certain tire depth.
Yeah.
And certain brake.
Minimums
There's certain minimums you
for
need to do, right?
safeties.
For safety.
That's something.
We
too,
might look
that,
at a tire and be like-
customers don't know that at all, but there is actual minimum safety requirements by Washington state law that's set in place for dealers. And I think that there's probably some folks that don't
There's a gray area.
give a shit about that. Yeah. So
But
with
we'll look at
us,
tires. We'll
we'll
be like, hey,
do-
these tires are at 70%.
yeah.
But, obviously the upper control arms or lower control arms or whatever are not good, or there's a bad ball joint. And so then, these tires are cupping, they're not going to ride right. We could sell it that way, right? We could do the upper control arms and keep those tires.
Right.
But because we have a tire shop as well, it just makes sense to replace the tires and put new
Yeah, we
ones on it.
definitely are a little over the top sometimes.
So when I got into overlanding, I wanted to maximize my suspension travel,
Yeah.
for the best overall off-road, capability and ride quality. Not a single shop in Washington State would touch long travel, so I had no choice but to do it myself.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what I was doing. And in retrospect, I really wished that I had a shop to be able to go to that knew what they were doing, because there was things that I did wrong. I cut off my steering limiter, which ultimately ended up in me blowing out multiple steering racks. Just weird, naive things I didn't know what I was doing, right?
Yeah.
But no one would touch it. I went to Four Wheel Parts. They said no. It's a Southern California thing, long travel. But in reality, for an overland and off-road vehicle, it's not that the trails are too narrow. Maybe some of the Jeep trails might be too narrow, but like it's really suspension wheel. It's travel. It's wheel travel. So comfort off-road, capability off-road, long travel kits can deliver on that. And there was no one in Washington State that would mess with them whatsoever. So it is actually really refreshing to hear that you guys will install those.
Oh yeah.
And that you're familiar with them. Cab mount chops?
All day, like butter.
Yeah.
Relocations, cab mount chops, body mount chops, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, all day.
Cool. So you guys will willingly take on cab mount chops, bead locks, long travel. That's a lot of the stuff that a lot of these shops won't touch because they're afraid of. It's really good to hear that you guys will be the go-to source in Washington State, Oregon, Idaho.
Yeah.
To do those installs.
And the new addition is, so we just acquired, like I was saying, we acquired the building next door. And the reason for that is we've got so many customers that are, putting bigger, we're doing a cab mount chop on a 4Runner, putting 35s on it. Well, the natural progression to that is you need to re-gear that thing. And so now we're sending them out.
Yeah.
We've got a couple different, there's really not that many people that are doing gears, but we've got a couple guys that will do it, and they're booked out 3, 4, 5 months. And so, we decided let's get into that game.
Yeah.
So our guys are proficient with it, and we just signed up with UConn, and we're going to start doing gearing as well.
Wow.
So it makes sense. We're ARB dealer, so we sell ARB lockers. It makes sense that we should be able to install those as well. So, So our goal is to just basically offer everything in one stop. I mean, it's not just about buying the products, at one store. There's other stores where you can pretty much buy everything. I don't know about.
Yeah, everything.
But can you get it installed there as well?
Yeah.
Really, we can do stem to stern. You could buy your dream rig, and then build it out, have it installed, pick out all the products that you want on that rig, have it installed at one location. So that's our goal. And like I said, once, we're trying to consolidate this down to one location instead of 3, to offer that all in one spot. So
To be fair, your 3 locations are all pretty close together.
Yeah.
You got one just
Within.
they're within 5 minutes of each other.
miles.
the other one's across the street.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the vision overall for the business is to have a one-stop shop all under one roof where you can even go flex out your truck right there.
Yeah.
We'll have a
You
track.
got a nice piece of land right there, which
Yep.
is really cool.
Yep.
And you
right
guys
on the
are
way to
building.
Tahuya. So, which is our backyard.
And you guys have done a bunch of group runs, and
Yeah.
even viral on Instagram. We've seen your group runs. A lot of people come out to them, and that's super exciting for people who are either getting into it or maybe have done it for a long time and want to, connect with the community. You guys have done these group runs, which are really cool. Can you guys tell us about those a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're super fun. It's a lot of work doing most companies do a rigs and coffee, and that's it. We do a rigs and coffee, we meet up, we give away prizes, and then we go on a group run after. So it's it's a lot.
Let's do rigs and coffee and then drive an hour to where we're gonna go out
Yeah.
the trails.
Try to get everybody out there.
Yeah.
But the idea is that people can come out with their rigs and, flex them out, get
Yeah.
to know what it's like to go wheel their vehicles, also become part of the community.
Yeah.
And then if they need any help whatsoever, if they're stuck or if
Yeah.
anything breaks down, we're all there, part of the community. It's
Right.
super cool.
Yeah,
That's-
been like the coolest part is the guys that came out and have never done it before
Yeah.
and have like you just bought your Tacoma last week or whatever and it popped up on your screen like, oh, there's a trail run meet rigs and coffee thing at Overland Truck Store. Those have been the coolest people to meet because then they come out And even if we're doing something super simple and laid back, it's like best day ever for them, because they're like, I didn't even know this part was here. And that part's cool too, because it's like a lot of the trails and stuff that we've ran with everyone, a lot of them are like local stuff on our side of the water that we have all gone out and camped around. So it's kind of showing like new people secret spots, which is cool in some ways, but also like, oh shoot,
We're giving up the secrets.
yeah.
Well, if they're part of your community, then they're welcome.
Oh yeah. And then, and that's literally happened. Like I've been out myself on weekends and stuff and ran into guys that have been out to our runs at the spots and stuff. And that's pretty cool. Yeah. Cause it's just like most people don't know where to go, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, when you're on these runs, and like you said, you've got people that have never done it before, and it's scary to go out and say go to Tahuya
Yeah.
in your new
Brand
TRD
new.
Pro Tacoma that you just spent $60,000 on,
Yeah.
and you've never done it before, and you're doing it by yourself.
Oh boy.
First of all, it's embarrassing when you're stuck and you got to ask somebody to pull you out. But when you're on a group run, it's a different deal. It's a community. Everybody wants to help you out. And, you know, I remember back to going out to Tahuya, and we had like 10 rigs, I think, that all 10 of them had half of them had never even put it in 4-low, let alone
Yeah.
use their rear diff
That was the
lock.
thing.
Yeah.
Didn't even know, like
So-
TRD Pro 4Runners. Didn't
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
know that how you put it in 4-low or anything.
Right. And so I was like
Yeah.
basically running up the trail and guiding everybody through, because some of those, you know, trails are pretty tight. And at the end of the day, I mean, it took a while to get all of them through, but they were super thankful and very proud that they could actually navigate that trail and get through it on their own. They were like, I can't believe, I had no idea that my 4Runner or my Tacoma or my Tundra or my Jeep could do this. So that part is
Like literally have had customers that gone on our group runs and then did that and then like built the confidence to kind of go out either just themselves or just another friend or something, and have gone to Mexico or done like Pan American kind of stuff. Oh yeah. So it's pretty cool. Like fresh, like never have done anything like it before. Have seen everything online with Overland stuff. We're like, that looks cool, which is part of our like customer base for sure. Is like, definitely a lot of it is it getting bigger in the last few years and everything with overlanding. And they come in and are like, hey, I want to get into this. What is it? You know, that's another part. Like, that's a big part I do for sure, is like people come in, they have no clue.
Well, you guys aren't gatekeeping it, and that's the best part of it all.
Yeah.
Is that like, you know, when I got into it, this is like Pirate 4x4 era, where people would just tear you apart if you had questions. You know, if you broke down and you had issues, you know, you would just get torn apart.
Yeah.
You guys are so open. You have this family environment where anybody that's interested, that wants to go explore, have an adventure, see the world, you know, from the front seat of their vehicle, they can come to you and they can come to your group events, and we'll teach them, we'll train them. And not just teach them, but equip them with a vehicle and the products that they need to have a successful adventure. And that is just so awesome. I mean, I don't know anyone else that's doing something like that. And I personally really appreciate you guys for doing that.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
It's fun. I mean, it's what we do. It's fun every day. You know, we were talking earlier about how hard I work, and I do. I bust my ass
You're running around like crazy.
like crazy.
Yeah.
But I still love it. You know, it's fun.
All right, guys. Well, tell me about the SEMA build. I think it's a Jeep.
I think it's a Jeep too, currently.
You do?
Right now it is.
Hope it's
yeah.
Jeep.
Yeah, no, it's new Jeep Gladiator, high altitude. So we're doing a whole rash of stuff to it. So it's a buddy of ours that we know. He's done a couple other SEMA builds before, so he kind of approached us because he's been following us for a few years through the expos and everything that we've been through the last couple of years. Saw us, we're kind of an up-and-coming shop. And he knew, like, you know, we're kind of more geared towards Toyota stuff, but he's always been like a Jeep guy, ex-military.
Yeah, you guys do great work on Jeeps too. Let's not get it weird, like crossed, but like, yeah.
It's honestly, it's my, like we were talking about Land Rovers earlier, like I'm a Land Cruiser guy, but I've got a sweet special spot in my heart now for Land Rovers, I guess. And same thing with Jeeps. Growing up, had Jeeps and everything. They're freaking awesome. There's nothing better. Like,
I used to drive my Jeep to school.
Fuck, there's nothing better than dude. Yeah, I definitely pulled some chicks in high school with the Jeep.
Whoa.
For sure.
Whoa.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Anyways, SEMA build.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
might pull some chicks.
Yeah.
Never know.
Yeah.
It is Vegas.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Gladiator. It's going to be an Attica 4x4s booth in West Hall. So it's inside this year. It's going to be sweet, right in the heart of everything that's going on. We went SEMA 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, from what I understood, like the first year they really dove into like
Overland.
an overland off-road
Yeah.
section, because SEMA's always been hot rods and everything, right?
Yeah.
So exotic cars, hot rods, and all that stuff. And
And
that
bro-dozers.
kind of bro-dozer. Oh, there was bro
With Bluetooth drive lines.
Bluetooth drive lines.
Yeah.
We
You gotta
are-
have that.
In a month, we will be installing a Bluetooth driveline for sure.
That's sick, man.
Right before.
Wow. Innovative.
Innovative. Yeah, and so it's going to, I don't know, it's going to be freaking cool. It's just a cool opportunity. All the stars aligned and everything. And we're the shop that's building the whole truck. There's
So
like a bunch of goods on it, like
there,
Well,
right?
tell me about the build. What's going on? This thing?
it's obviously like an overland kind of specific build, but it's kind of our style, which is why we decided to do it too. It's, you know, maybe we're not your like typical overlander guys that are all the techie stuff. We've, like he talked about, we've grown up like rock crawling, going out, all that kind of stuff.
So it's capable.
So the whole point of the build is to be like a mix between capable rock crawling gladiator kind of stuff, but you're, you know, still overland specific, you know, all the goods of overland stuff mixed in with a rock crawler Jeep. We're doing an AccuAir suspension on it, which is super interesting. Never done one before. This is the first one. It's air ride system on a Jeep, which is pretty wild to me. It goes from stock height up to 6.5 inches by a click of a button.
Like
Holy
that.
shit.
Yeah.
And you can do individual as well.
Yeah, you can set it in kind of anywhere in between.
That's
too.
cool.
So
So for like the overland, I guess, application, you could like level your tent out and
yeah,
however you like.
yeah.
That's neat. That's cool.
That's kind of one of the top things on it. Like it's got an onboard compressor and everything. It adapts to that weight and everything that's in the Jeep, which is pretty sweet. You can't drive around on the road at 6-inch lift. It drops down. It's actually a lot like how the Land Cruisers work in the last like 20 years on their height control systems. So that's going to be pretty sweet. A bunch of other companies have jumped in on the build and everything, mostly ones that we sell in-house, which is pretty cool because we're kind of displaying everyone that, you know, it's a whole build that we can do in-house in the store and everything. So we're pretty pumped. It's been a long process, and everything is about to happen for it, like this month. It's been a lot of onesie twosies here, getting everything prepped up, and
A lot
like
of custom
next
fab and
month.
everything, too.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we had to make
Yeah.
work on it. And yeah, this next month, it's going to be go time. Next 2 months, because SEMA this year lands on Halloween. So it's going to be Halloween through, Yeah. So
And
be
we've
fun in
gone to
Vegas.
SEMA for. I've been going to SEMA for probably 25 years, and we've gone to SEMA. I mean, I don't even remember when you started going to SEMA with me, but it's been a long time. And this is our first year to actually represent. in a
go there
booth.
and have a vehicle in there. So
That's
it's
cool.
fucking.
We usually just go for fun.
Cool.
Because it is fun.
Yeah.
I mean, SEMA is amazing.
I'm psyched. It's the biggest, like, car auto industry
Yeah.
show out there.
That's
like
really cool.
Overland Expos are fucking cool and everything with our stuff, and it's cool that that's like breaking into that scene because that's like heroes for me, Chip Foose and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
You know,
That's really cool. It's cool you guys have been
So
going
sick.
for so long. And
Yeah,
now you get
it's-
to go, with your own build.
Yeah, that's
Father, son.
so
That's
fun.
dope. Yeah.
So fun.
So if you guys want to check out the Overland Truck Store, make sure to visit their pre-owned vehicle lot in Bremerton or their website, theoverlandtruckstore.com. You can see their inventory online, see some of their pre-built rigs or even their stock vehicles that are
Badass.
badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
like our CRVs.
CRVs.
You could check out like
Ridgelines.
our Nissan Sentra.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I
Now
was
we're
going to
just
say
fucking
vehicles that are, primarily focused on the off-road and overland, community,
Have you seen a lifted Sentra?
sick.
Sick.
Or if you're interested in buying parts and having them delivered straight to your door anywhere in the world, you can check out the overlandgarage.com. Or if you'd like to schedule maintenance or modifications, you can check out the overlandgarage.com, make an appointment right there in Bremerton, Washington. And thank you guys so much for being on the show. I really appreciate you guys. Great stories, good times, and thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yes, Max.
We're going to end this before we get canceled.
I didn't even break out the nipples yet.
Oh boy.
Break out the nipples.